Back with a review of Love Island episode 39. Turns out all the other episodes that I was talking about, because I was showing clips of Love Island, they've all been blocked. So now I'm no longer going to be showing the clips. You're just going to be looking at my pretty face as I talk about the episodes. This is the male perspective, right? So we ended the last episode with Catherine and Ellum going home. I was fine with that. Wasn't a huge fan of the couple. They were kind of boring. But what I didn't like is all the hate they were getting on Twitter. Ellum was just being attacked. People said he looked like Jeffrey. I could see a little bit, but he was a good-looking guy. I guess Black Twitter turned on Catherine. Like, she doesn't want to date Scott. She has other plans. So this is actually the first time I've ever seen Black Twitter turn on a black woman. So this was actually pretty interesting. But it's weird, the attacks they're doing on her. They're going to give her a complex. So I really think people should leave her alone. Because she's going to leave the show now. I read all those comments. And people are just mean. People are just straight up mean. So Catherine was let go, and the reason she was let go is because she didn't want to date Scott, and she was mean to him. And so everybody is mad at Catherine for being mean to Scott. She could have handled it differently, but it's kind of a stupid reason to vote her out. Anyway, I could care less because we didn't see much of them. I was really bothered that they voted out Montel and Leah, though. I mean, they just did that whole big, he professed his love. He went up to the balcony and gathered everybody around. He professed his love. Usually when you do stuff like that, usually stick around, unless you're season 5 with Anna. I think, what's that guy's name, Josh, where he did a whole gesture for her. And then pretty much the next week he was hitting on another girl. So Montel didn't do that. And this is Love Island at the end of the day. Here's my worry when I see them getting rid of Montel and Leia. Ellum and Catherine, like I said, I don't mind too much. They were new. Ellum actually wasn't going to stay with Catherine if they stayed in. Like, he was already talking about when a bombshell comes in. He didn't say if a bombshell comes in. He said when a bombshell comes in, I'm going to talk to her. So he was the whole time just waiting for the bombshell to come in so he can get away from Catherine. And that's one thing you have to know. When people come from Casa, we already know this, they're really just trying to get in. And when they get in, they'll just meander around. Long story short, I could understand why Catherine was let go. She didn't really have a strong connection. Leah and Montel, I can't understand it. This is Love Island. I hope they're not about to do what they did in season 5. My favorite season. But in season 5, Tommy Fury and Molly May Hague, they should have won. Instead, it went to Amber and some guy from Ireland. I don't even remember his name. And they lasted as a couple, I think, exactly 1 month after the show. They went to visit each other's families, and after that, they went kaput. And apparently, Amber doesn't even like men anymore. So I don't really care for pity win. So let's not do that. Let's just not give it to Scott just because we feel bad for Scott. Scott's a man. He can handle it, right? That part is done. You've had your vengeance. Catherine is gone. You get rid of Leia and Montel. That's kind of ridiculous because that's a real couple, I think. I see what everybody else sees, and that is that Montel is more into Leia than she is into him, I think. I think that because she had kind of a rough go when she first came in, she was turned down by Scott and I think maybe Zach. Turned down by a few people. She kind of had a little bit of low self-esteem, and then when Montel came in, he just came in at the right time, and they formed that connection. And of course, he was just like a sick puppy dog following her around, so she was happy. But on the outside, let's see. I don't know. So what else happened? Well, Katie and Uzi, Katie called out Amber, saying, hey, you guys aren't even a couple. What are you doing here? That's true. They're not a couple. The young girl, the 19-year-old, what's her name? Amber. She just seems nervous all the time. She seems like she can't really have conversations. I don't know. I think she might even be younger than 19. At least she acts younger than 19. 19 is really not that young for this show. If I remember correctly, Molly May, wasn't she like 20 or 21? I think Molly May and Tommy Fury, they were like 20 years old when they were on that show. It was like 1 year older than this girl. So 19 is fine to be on the show. It's just that particular girl, she's too shy. She feels out of place. She doesn't really have conversations. And she was probably put in there because she's a celebrity's daughter, and they had a celebrity's daughter the year before. And I think Michael Owen's daughter, Gemma Owens, was there. And so they were like, well, let's do it again. That was very successful because guys were interested, probably watching, because guys are into football. They know Michael Owens, and a soccer player. But she's just taking up space because nobody wants to couple up with her. When you've gone through a few different days or a few different rounds and nobody has tried to couple up with somebody, it's time to set it up so that person can leave. Yeah, and maybe they should have done it yesterday, where they could have done that whole. Now the contestants, they get to decide one woman and one man leave. They could have done that, and then maybe they get rid of Amber and get rid of Ellen or something like that. They could have done that, but yeah, she has to go so they can make room for people that are in there to make connections. So that's her. That's Amber and Scott. Scott, he's upped his game, going after Mitch's girl. And Mitch, there's a bombshell that came in. Ella, they call her Ella B, Ella 2.0. She came in, I forgot the name of the male bombshell that came in. Ella took Mitch out. She was flirting with him, but she's really into Tyreek because she knew Tyreek from home. They've sucked faces together. They're into each other. She's here to throw a spanner in the works. I don't know what these producers are up to right now. I think that really these guys are just about, I don't know, how many more tests can they put Tyreek and Ella through? I thought they wanted this to be smooth sailing, but because Tyreek gives such good TV, I think they just want to keep going on this and see where they can go. Because there's no way in hell Tyreek is gonna go and switch it up for Ella. Well, why would he? He already knows her. He knows where she lives. He could just keep doing what he's doing with Ella A, and then if it doesn't work out, Ella B, he knows where she lives. She's from around his way, right? So it's not gonna happen, right? It's just something they threw in there to create some drama, get some content, whatever. So I'm not buying it. What else? Who else do we have in there? We have, Mitch and Abby. Mitch's girl Abby is a little hypocritical. She wanted him to let her talk to Scott, have fun, flirt in front of his face, embarrass him in front of his face. And then when he got a new bombshell looking for him, she's now getting all pissy and weird. So don't feel sorry for the Abby. But I think Mitch should stay with Abby because the new bombshell, she's trouble. She's trouble. I can tell. I don't think she's into Mitch. I think she's a game player. I don't think there's any guy in there for her. She's gonna have her fun, and she's not gonna win. Mitch can win, but not with Ella B. Who else am I missing here? We talked about Mitch and Abby, talked about Scott and Amber, talked about Ella and Tyreek, Katie and Uzi, right? Sammy and Jess. Yeah, Sammy and Jess. So Jess was the second person the male bombshell picked. And, a lot of people think that Sammy's a game player and all that, but he's had his opportunities to. Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't think he's into Jess. I think if they leave the show, he's not going to be with her. Yeah, I agree. He's not that into her. He was more into Mal. He went to Casa Amor. He was totally fine with Mac and chicks. He just didn't find any, girl that was. Let me see here. Who were the girls over at Casa Amor? Yeah, he just didn't find any compatible girls. I think in this season of Casa Amor, they didn't bring a lot of sort of bombshell girls that could make guys' heads turn. Season 7 Casa Amor. You guys need to watch Season 7 Casa Amor. Every girl in Season 7 Casa Amor was fire. That's the one where you had, what's that guy? Liam, right? The guy that won, Liam. He was like a solid guy, but he went to Casa Amor. They dropped a bombshell on him. I mean, even Liam had to switch it up. If they had girls like that in this season in Casa Amor, yeah, I think Scott might have come back with somebody, right? I think, who knows, what Tyreek would have done, right? It's just they didn't have anything. They didn't have anything for people to switch up. And quite frankly, they didn't even have much for the girls either. When I saw the guys come in, I knew that Katie wasn't going to switch up. Because she was with Zach, and, they didn't bring anything, right? They didn't bring anything. They brought like a 20-year-old guy. Stop bringing 20-year-old guys when you know that you have women in there that are 24, 25, 26. It doesn't make any sense. The girls are going to internally think to themselves, this is not going to be long-term because the guy is too young. So they didn't bring enough people. They brought Uzi, and that was one person. If they brought 3 other people that were kind of like Uzi, they would have turned a lot of heads. I mean, these guys, look, Love Island, if you need help setting up Casa next time, call me. I can help you guys set that up. Anyway, predictions. Top 3 couples, or top 4 couples. Montel and Leia, I had them on there, but obviously the public are petty and foolish, and they're not there anymore. So I have Zolly, aka Zach and Molly. I'm not really a fan of them, they're boring, but they'll be there, I think, at least, unless, Twitter goes wild again. So Zach and Molly will be there. I think Whitney and Lockham, which I didn't even talk about in this thing, but Whitney and Lockham, they'll be there as well. Because everybody just, loves Whitney in the world, apparently. I watched it After Sun. They all love Whitney. And she's fun. She was bawling her eyes out for Mehdi. So she does come across to me as somebody with low self-esteem because Mehdi was not it. Dude was not it. And she was all into him. So she's giving me vibes of she would take anybody kind of vibes because I really haven't seen Whitney talk to somebody and she'd be like, it's not my type. I haven't, or if you guys have heard her say that, then let me know. I haven't heard her. She was fine with dating Mehdi, making out with Mehdi. She was fine with this new guy Lockham. She wanted Zach. She wanted Montel. If there's anybody that was available, she was down with it. She has a great attitude, all of that, but I don't know. She's after that Mehdi thing, the way Mehdi was just really treating her. I didn't like the way Mehdi was treating her, and she was cool with it. And then by the end of the show, when he was leaving, she was almost like begging him to invite her to France. And that really turned me off. I'm like, girl, this guy is an ass. Why are you still begging to see him again? Why are you crying for him? So that turned me off from Whitney because she just gives me low self-esteem vibes. Anybody that will talk to her, she's all for it. So yeah, I would in my top 3, she's not there. But I know the Twitter, Black Twitter, she's gonna be on there. She's top dog on Black Twitter. But my top would be Zach and Molly, Tyreek and Ella, and as time goes on, we'll see. But I'm gonna say Mitch and Abby if they work it out, right? I was gonna say Katie and Uzi, but I've never seen Katie and Uzi kiss. The way, like a, the way like a Montel and Leah kiss. Have you guys seen it? I've never seen it. They don't kiss. They do little pecks, right? I've never seen Katie and Uzi kiss like that deep look into your eyes, like, oh, you're so beautiful. Yeah, just go and see Loverboy Montel. You've never seen Uzi or Katie do that. It's almost like they're doing stuff for the camera. So, no. Tyreek and Ella, I've seen the passion. Zach and Molly, I haven't seen the passion, but the story is there, right? And so I can see them being a top three. I don't see them winning. I think Tyreek and Ella are going to win unless Ella goes crazy and does some mean girl stuff, which she's kind of started doing first by attacking Katie and Uzi, and also it looks like she's going to go after Ella in the next episode. And Abby and Mitch, that would be the greatest success story for Mitchy boy, who was stuck it out. He was pied the whole time. You know, that's how they say in England. He got pied, he got mugged off, but he stuck it out, found his girl. It looks like she's really into him because this last episode, she was actually getting really jealous when he was hanging out with Ella B. So that's my top three. Tyreek and Ella, Zach and Molly, Abby and Mitchell. That's what I think is going to happen. I like Uzi and Katie, but nah, they're not. They look good together, but there's no passion. There's no Montel Leah passion, right? I don't see Montel Leah passion with anybody except maybe Tyreek and Ella. Like that passion is gone. With Whitney and Lockham, that's true. I see it there. Okay, executive decision here. I'm changing my vote. I'm changing my vote. The top three will be Mitch and Abby, Tyreek and Ella, Whitney and Lockham. Now I'm throwing Whitney and Lockham back in there, even though I personally am not a fan of Whitney. You know, the whole Medi thing just turned me off. I mean, she should have thrown that guy to the curb. Can't stand that guy. But her arc and just her attitude, I know people are gonna gravitate towards her. And in terms of love and passion, which is what I want to see from the winner of Love Island, Whitney and Lockham have it, right? I want to see those passionate kisses, right? Whitney and Lockham do it, of course. Montel and Leah, but they're gone. Ella and Tyreek, and I see that with Abby and Mitch, and it could potentially grow. All the others, Katie and Uzi, Zach and Molly. I mean, Molly lied to everybody about being closed off. That was hilarious. I mean, she's got a kind of a weird attitude. She lied to everybody about being closed off, and then Katie did a toast, calling her out on it, and basically embarrassed Zach. You know, Zach is, I don't know if this is a basketball player thing. He reminds me of Ovi so much, where everything is just slow. He's slow talking. Like, I tell you, I don't even know what closed off means, but the first time I'm hearing it, you know. Yeah, he's a real slow talker, right? You know, I don't know if it's the editing, but it feels like he doesn't say anything. Like he just drops one or two one-liners and things. So yeah, now he's off my list. You've heard my top three. Whitney, Lockham, Tyreek and Ella, of course, Abby and Mitch, and the winners are going to be Tyreek and Ella. That's my pick. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. See you next episode.